I remember the first time I got a letter from a benefits office that made absolutely no sense. It was pages of jargon and deadlines, and I realized with a sinking feeling that one wrong move, one missed form, could cost me hundreds of dollars I didn't have. That was my real introduction to budgeting. The disability system taught me lessons I never asked to learn. These aren't the cute, trendy budgeting tips you see online. This isn't about skipping your morning coffee to get rich. These are real, hard-won survival lessons, learned from the front lines of a system that wasn't built with our peace of mind in mind. It's about a different kind of financial literacy, one that's deeply personal and often invisible to the outside world. When you're living with a disability or chronic illness, the word budgeting takes on a whole new dimension. It's so much more than just tracking groceries and rent. It's a constant, complex calculation. It means deciphering ever-changing benefit rules and asset limits, where having a dollar too much can mean losing everything. It's forecasting medical costs, not just co-pays, but the things insurance won't touch, like a specific type of brace or a supplement that actually helps. It's budgeting for transportation that might mean paying a premium for an accessible rideshare, because the bus route involves a hill your body can't handle that day. And it's budgeting a resource that's more precious than money: your energy. Every task has a cost, and you have to decide if you can afford it. In this video, I'm sharing my story and the framework that helped me find a little more stability. So, here are 7 budgeting lessons I learned from navigating the disability system. Before we dive in, a quick but important disclaimer. This video is for educational and personal storytelling purposes only. My experience is my own, and it is not a substitute for professional advice. The information shared here is not financial, legal, medical, tax, or benefits advice. Navigating these systems is incredibly specific to your own situation, location, and needs, so please consult with qualified professionals for guidance. My goal here is simply to share my journey in the hopes that it might help you feel a little less alone on yours. First, I learned that budgeting has to include energy, not just money. So much financial advice is built for able-bodied people. It assumes you can always choose the cheapest option, like taking 3 buses to save $10 on a cab, or spending a whole Sunday meal prepping for the week. But for many of us, the cheapest option costs far too much energy. I remember one time I forced myself to take the bus to a specialist appointment across town to save money. I saved $20, but the journey left me so drained and in so much pain that I couldn't process what the doctor was saying, and I spent the next 2 days in bed, unable to work or even make myself a simple meal. The real cost of that trip wasn't just the bus fare, it was my health and my time. Now, I see things like grocery delivery, pre-chopped vegetables, or using a rideshare not as lazy indulgences, but as vital accessibility tools. They buy me back my energy. The takeaway here is that your energy is a finite and precious resource. Spending money to conserve it isn't a failure in budgeting. It's a strategic investment in your own well-being. Second, emergency funds look completely different when you're on benefits. The standard advice to save 3 to 6 months of living expenses is often impossible and even dangerous when government assistance programs have strict asset limits. For a long time, I lived with a constant, low-grade panic that any small emergency could push me over a cliff, but saving money felt like walking a tightrope. If my savings account went over $2,000, I could lose the health care that kept me alive. It's a cruel paradox. The systems meant to support you can also penalize you for trying to create your own safety net. This forced me to get creative and informed. I had to learn the intricate rules about where my money could sit. I learned what assets were countable and which weren't. This led me to discover tools like ABLE accounts, which are tax-advantaged savings accounts for individuals with disabilities that often don't count against asset limits. The lesson is that financial safety on a low income, especially with benefits, isn't about hoarding cash. It's about understanding the system and strategically placing your resources where they can support you without jeopardizing your essential aid. Third, medical costs are never just medical costs. When you see a bill from a doctor's office, that's only the tip of the iceberg. A single 30-minute appointment can actually consume days of your life and hundreds of dollars that never appear on an itemized bill. Let's break it down. There's the cost of transportation to get there, whether it's gas, parking, or a bus pass. There's the potential for lost wages from taking time off work, if you're able to work. Then there's the appointment itself, followed by the cost of prescriptions. But it doesn't stop there. There's the administrative burden. Hours spent on the phone with insurance companies, fighting denials, or filling out paperwork. And most importantly, there's the physical and emotional recovery time. A procedure or even just a stressful consultation can require a full day or more of rest to get back to your baseline. The true cost of that one appointment includes all of it. The takeaway is to always budget beyond the bill. When you plan for a medical expense, build in a buffer for all the hidden costs, your time, your travel, your energy, and your recovery. That's the real price of care. Lesson 4. A simple form is almost never simple. The disability system runs on a relentless cycle of forms, deadlines, proof, copies, records, and phone calls. It's a full-time job you didn't apply for. I remember getting a one-page request for updated information and thinking, oh, good, this one's easy. But that one page required me to print it, only to find my printer was out of ink. It meant a trip to the store, then a 45-minute phone call on hold with my doctor's office to get records, which they needed me to fax. Who has a fax machine? So it was another trip to a copy shop to pay for printing, faxing, and then mailing the original via certified mail, because you always need proof of delivery. That one simple form ended up costing me an entire afternoon, a lot of energy, and about $20. This is the hidden tax of being disabled. Your budget has to stretch to include the cost of printing, mailing, transportation, notary fees, fees for your own medical records, and sometimes paying for help from someone who actually understands the system. Lesson 5. The cheapest choice is not always the safest choice. When your budget is incredibly tight, it's tempting to buy the least expensive version of everything. But this can be a dangerous trap. Cheap shoes with no arch support can lead to falls or worsen chronic pain, costing you dearly in mobility and medical bills. A flimsy bargain bin mobility aid might buckle at the worst possible moment, leading to serious injury. Even cheap food, often highly processed and lacking nutrients, can exacerbate health conditions, creating a vicious cycle. The same goes for housing. A cheaper apartment with mold or accessibility hazards can land you in the hospital. It's a painful calculation to make, but sometimes paying more upfront for quality and safety, whether it's for a supportive mattress, an ergonomic chair, or nutritious food, is the most financially sound decision you can make. It prevents a much bigger, more expensive, and more painful problem later on. It's an investment in your own well-being. 6. Track patterns, not perfection. When you are dealing with pain, fatigue, brain fog, or stress, perfect budgeting is not realistic. I learned to track patterns. Which weeks are hardest, which expenses repeat, and which surprises are actually predictable. 7. Shame is expensive. Shame can keep you from applying for help, asking questions, using food banks, requesting payment plans, or telling someone you are struggling. The system already makes things hard. Shame does not need to get a vote. Practical tips. Create a budget category called Access Needs. Keep a folder for benefits paperwork. Save receipts for medical and disability-related expenses. Set reminders before deadlines. Ask for bills in writing. Do not rely on memory when you are already overwhelmed. Build a budget around your actual life, not someone else's idea of what your life should cost. The disability system taught me that budgeting is not about being perfect. It is about staying as safe, stable, and supported as possible inside a system that can be exhausting. If your budget looks different from other people's, that does not mean you failed. It means your life has different costs. If you want practical disability money tips without shame, subscribe to One Hot Mess. And tell me in the comments, what budgeting lesson did disability teach you?